circumstances are inherently neutral. Their perceived positivity or negativity stems solely from the observer's mindset, be it melancholic or optimistic. Paramahansa Yogananda. Have you ever felt life's relentless testing? A continuous cycle of challenges escalating in intensity, just as you believe stability is found. Consider the possibility that these trials are not mere punishments or meaningless afflictions, but rather profound spiritual assessments designed to awaken the latent divinity within. Paramahansa Yogananda posited that enlightenment's attainment necessitates trials. The adversities we encounter are neither random occurrences nor insurmountable obstacles intended to break us. Instead, they function as the sculptor's chisel, meticulously refining away falsehood, unveiling the soul's inherent brilliance. The path to enlightenment isn't freely bestowed. The divine refines the soul through the crucible of experience, forging it into something radiant and indestructible. A young disciple once approached Yogananda, burdened by sorrow, his voice trembling as he questioned life's pervasive suffering. Yogananda, responding with a gentle smile, picked up a rough piece of gold ore, holding it up to the light. "Would you prefer to remain in this dull, unpolished state, hidden beneath dust?" he inquired. The student remained silent. Yogananda continued, "Gold must undergo the transformative heat of fire before its brilliance shines forth. Similarly, the soul must endure its trials to attain purity. If you seek enlightenment, do not fear the refining flame." The disciple's eyes widened with understanding. His suffering, his struggles, were not meaningless. They were shaping him, a process mirrored in each of our individual journeys. We all confront tests of faith, patience, and surrender, designed to assess our readiness to transcend worldly illusions. 8 fundamental trials await every seeker before ultimate truth is revealed. Are you prepared to confront them? Test 1. The illusion of comfort. A subtle, often overlooked test masquerades as comfort, a gilded cage lulling the soul into complacency. Paramahansa Yogananda cautioned that comfort poses the most insidious obstacle on the spiritual path. A soul seeking rest before awakening will never achieve its ultimate destiny. A seeker possessing wealth, health, and admiration, yet feeling an inexplicable restlessness, sought Yogananda's guidance. "I have everything I desired, yet something feels amiss," he confessed. Yogananda, with discerning eyes, replied, "If you are comfortable but not growing, you are asleep." The seeker, perplexed, questioned if comfort didn't signify success. Yogananda shook his head. "The body may find ease, but is your soul awake? Comfort is not the ultimate goal. It's a test, a significant one. Settling into it hinders ascent. Using it as a stepping stone facilitates awakening." The man, falling silent, recognized his peace as stagnation, mistaking stillness for enlightenment and ease for fulfillment. This test confronts many. When life eases, will you cease growing? Comfort whispers, "Stay here, rest, do not question, seek, or strive." Yet the soul yearns for more, knowing that growth necessitates challenge, and challenge fuels transformation. Have you ever felt overly comfortable? A deep inner voice calling for more? This is your soul's reminder. You weren't born for comfort, but for transcendence. Test 2. The storm of doubt. A test assaults every seeker's core, a shadow creeping in as light dawns. Doubt. It doesn't originate externally. It wells up within, whispering questions that shake faith's foundations. The greatest battle isn't against the world, but against inner disbelief in the divine. Doubt represents the mind's clinging to the familiar, resisting the unknown, demanding proof of what can only be felt. It's a trial every soul must overcome before true realization. One evening, a student, uncertainty weighing heavily on his heart, confessed to Paramahansa Yogananda, "I want to believe, but my mind is rife with questions. What if this is all illusion, self-deception?" Yogananda, instead of verbal response, extinguished a nearby candle, plunging the room into darkness. The student watched silently. "Can the flame exist without the wick?" Yogananda then asked. The student, uncertain, realized the flame symbolized faith, the wick, the soul's yearning. As long as this yearning persists, doubt cannot wholly consume. Doubt only exists when faith struggles to break through. It's not the path's end, but a journey component. Close your eyes. Ask yourself, do I trust the divine even when the path is unseen? Does my heart still yearn for truth? If so, doubt is merely a prelude to dawn. Keep walking. The light awaits. Test 3. The weight of desires. The world overflows with treasures. Wealth, admiration, success, love. We pursue them, believing they bring peace. Yet, the more we grasp, the more they elude us, leaving emptiness and longing. Paramahansa Yogananda warned of the desire's test, invisible chains tethering the soul to illusion. Owning the world doesn't equate to freedom if the world owns your heart. You're a slave to illusion. A man, torn between spiritual pursuit and worldly attachments, confessed to Yogananda, "I yearn for enlightenment, but fear losing everything." Yogananda, with compassion, said, "You hold a rope, yet fail to see your hands are already free." Confused, the man asked for clarification. Yogananda explained, "You believe you're bound by wealth, reputation, desires. But tell me, who holds on to whom? Is your soul bound by the world, or have you clasped it, unwilling to let go?" The man, trembling, realized his fear wasn't of loss, but of losing a false self built on those attachments. This is the desire's test. They appear as comfort, fulfillment, but are distractions, diverting the soul from its purpose. What attachments hinder your freedom? Fear losing something. Not realizing true freedom lies in surrender. Close your eyes. Breathe. Imagine releasing what weighs on your heart. You were never truly bound. You were always free. Test 4. The loneliness of the path. A time arrives when the seeker observes their solitary journey. Once exciting conversations feel hollow, desires fade. The world moves in one direction, yet their soul is pulled elsewhere. This is one of the most arduous tests, the path's loneliness. Many won't follow as you walk toward the light, but don't stop. The destination justifies the solitude. Paramahansa Yogananda understood this test well, leaving behind comfort, family, and societal expectations. His journey involved misunderstanding, rejection, resistance from those who couldn't comprehend his vision. Yet, he persevered, the divine's call outweighing worldly voices. A disciple, sadness in his eyes, confessed to Yogananda, "I feel alone. Friends don't understand. My family thinks I've changed. I feel like a stranger amongst my own." Yogananda gently smiled, asking, "When the sun rises, does the moon complain of fading?" The disciple blinked. "You are not alone," Yogananda continued. "The entire universe walks beside you. The stars, your breath, the stillness in meditation. These are your companions. One day, shining brightly, others will see your light and walk beside you. This is spiritual isolation's test. Not everyone will understand. Some may drift, others question. Don't be discouraged. The silence isn't emptiness, but space for something greater. Have you felt separate from the world, your soul called elsewhere? Know this, you're never truly alone. The divine walks with you, and in time, you'll find fellow travelers. Test 5. Facing the ego. The spiritual seeker's greatest adversary isn't the world, but themselves, the ego. It doesn't appear as an external force. It whispers internally, weaving subtle illusions. You are special, more awakened than others, superior. In that moment, the path is lost. The ego sweetly whispers, you are special. But the wise reply, I am nothing, and in nothingness, I am everything. A disciple, brimming with pride, told Paramahansa Yogananda, I've meditated for years, read sacred scriptures, experienced visions. I believe I've reached enlightenment. Yogananda, saying nothing, gently handed him a broom. For 1 year, he said, sweep the temple floors clean, every corner, every day, as if wiping away self-importance. Stunned, the disciple, expecting praise, received the humblest task. Initially, his mind rebelled, but over time, something shifted. With each sweep, he saw the ego as dust obscuring the inner light. Returning to Yogananda, his pride dissolved. He bowed deeply, saying, Master, I understand. I am nothing, and in nothingness, I am free. This is facing the ego's test, the desire for recognition, a spiritual path's final illusion. Can you relinquish the need to be seen, recognized? The moment you do, true enlightenment, found not in becoming more, but in complete dissolution, is revealed. Test 6. The trial of suffering. A test no soul escapes, suffering. It arrives unannounced, shattering illusions, stripping away the familiar. Loss, betrayal, hardship, sorrow. We ask, why must I suffer? But Paramahansa Yogananda taught that's the wrong question. Don't ask why. Ask, what is suffering teaching me? Every enlightened soul has endured suffering. Even Yogananda faced criticism, betrayal, separation from loved ones. Yet he remained unwavering, knowing suffering wasn't punishment, but a refining fire. A man burdened by sorrow asked Yogananda, why is life so painful? Why does God allow suffering? Yogananda, without immediate answer, placed a lump of coal into a fire. The man watched silently as the heat transformed the coal. Yogananda asked, will this coal become a diamond without heat? The man, understanding for the first time, saw that the suffering he'd cursed was shaping him into something greater. This is suffering's trial. When life seems unbearable, everything falls apart. But if you endure with faith, you'll see nothing was falling apart. It was falling into place. What hardships have shaped you? Close your eyes. Reflect on struggles. See the fire's purpose wasn't destruction, but transformation. Test 7. The distraction of powers and visions. A hidden test, disguised as a gift, arises as a seeker progresses. New abilities awaken. Intuition sharpens. Visions appear. The ability to sense energy, influence the unseen, even manifest outcomes. These become real, but Paramahansa Yogananda cautioned, these aren't rewards, but tests. Many seek God's power, but few seek God himself. A disciple, thrilled by newfound abilities, told Yogananda, I can read thoughts, see glimpses of the future. Surely this signifies enlightenment. Yogananda, smiling, handed him a feather. Hold this, then blow it away. The disciple easily did so. Very good, Yogananda said. Now, can you remove your pride as easily? The disciple's smile faded. He understood. The test of spiritual powers is humility's test. The moment a seeker believes they're special because of abilities, they've fallen into illusion. A man, through meditation, gained visions and influence, but pride grew with his powers. He considered himself superior. Boasting to Yogananda, the master said, a flower doesn't announce its fragrance. It simply exists in its beauty. The man was silent. He'd focused on gifts, forgetting the true goal, not power, but surrender, not miracles, but God. Are you drawn to spirituality for wisdom or power? Close your eyes. Look within. If all gifts, abilities, and signs of progress were removed, would you still walk the path? This reveals whether you seek truth or merely its reflection. Test 8. The final surrender. The final, hardest test arrives not with suffering or power, but in quiet stillness. When the seeker has given everything, yet God remains unrevealed. This is letting go of everything, even the desire for enlightenment. Surrender your longing, seeking self. Only then does the divine reveal itself. A devoted seeker, heart heavy with longing, pleaded with Paramahansa Yogananda, "I've meditated, chanted, fasted, served, prayed. Why don't I see God?" Yogananda, with infinite love, placed his hand on the disciple's heart, whispering, "Because you still think there's a you to find him." The devotee understood. As long as he desired enlightenment, he was separate from it. Clinging to the idea of himself as a seeker separated him from what was sought. The final test. Can you surrender even the search? Release the need to attain. Stop grasping for God and simply dissolve into Him. Take a deep breath. Let go of expectations, effort, the idea of anything to achieve. What remains when all else is released? If truly still, truly empty, you'll see God was never hidden. He was always here. Look back on your life, trials that broke you, doubts that consumed you, losses that left you hollow. With new eyes, see the truth. These weren't punishments, but doorways. Each hardship, longing, moment of suffering wasn't meant to push you down, but lift you higher. Each trial, doubt, loss prepared you for something greater. Paramahansa Yogananda taught that the divine doesn't place obstacles to defeat us, but to awaken us. The loneliness taught you God is the only constant. Struggles shaped you into something unshakable. You stand here not as someone who failed, but as someone refined, prepared for something greater than you can yet see. Close your eyes. Feel the journey's weight, the battles fought, illusions relinquished. You are not alone. You never were. These tests aren't to stop you, but to set you free. Will you walk forward, trusting each test leads you exactly where you need to be? If this resonated, share your experience. What test have you faced? What lesson learned? Remember, life isn't happening